Hello from Dhaka, this is Moutushi Jubaida Rahman and you are watching BSS News. At first, the headlines. 2026 election is an election to save country, says Chief Adviser. ICT sentences Sheikh Hasina Asaduzzaman to death for July crimes against humanity. Adviser Rizwana urges wider use of jute to reduce polythene dependence. Lack of party cooperation may put election in question, says Chief Election Commissioner. In reversal, Trump supports House vote to release Epstein files. Now the details. 2026 election is an election to save country, says Chief Adviser. Chief Adviser to the interim government of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Muhammad Yunus, has asked divisional commissioners and deputy commissioners to carry out their duties in the upcoming national election and referendum with honesty, neutrality, and full dedication. He gave the directive this morning at Shapla Hall of the Chief Adviser's office in Dhaka. Professor Muhammad Yunus said that 2026 election is not a conventional election. He called it an election to save the country. He said this poll is more significant than a regular 5-year election because it includes a referendum. He reminded the officials that this is the first election after the mass uprising. He said the election will give completeness to that uprising. According to him, the century-long course of the nation will be determined through this vote. The chief advisor said there is no scope for failure. He said the nation will experience a rebirth through this election and district commissioners must act as midwives in that process. Professor Muhammad Yunus urged all DCs to learn everything they need to know. He said the election must be festive and peaceful at the same time. He highlighted that many young and female voters could not vote in the past 15 years. He instructed DCs to create a festive atmosphere so they can vote with joy. He also noted that international observers are already showing strong interest in the upcoming election. Calling the election a battle, Professor Muhammad Yunus said we must win this battle to survive as a free nation. ICT sentences Sheikh Hasina Asaduzzaman to death for July crimes against humanity. The International Crimes Tribunal 1 today sentenced ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and former Home Minister Asaduzzaman Khan Kamal to death. They were convicted in the Crimes Against Humanity case for the Superior Command responsibility during the July mass uprising. The tribunal also found former Inspector General of Police Chaudhry Abdullah Al Mamun guilty. He received a lenient sentence of 5 years in jail for giving full disclosure as a state witness. The 3-member panel was headed by Justice Golam Murtuza Mazumdar. The tribunal began reading the judgment at 12:50 p.m. today. Justice Muhammad Mohitul Haq Enam Chaudhuri read the first section until 1 and 10 p.m. Justice Muhammad Shofiul Alam Mahmood read the middle section until 1:56 p.m. Tribunal Chairman Justice Golam Murtuza Mazumdar read the sentencing portion and it ended at 2:45 p.m. Before delivering the judgment, Justice Golam Murtuza Mazumdar thanked the Attorney General, the prosecution team, the investigation agency, tribunal staff and journalists for their roles in the trial. Adviser Rizwana urges wider use of jute to produce polythene dependence. Environment, Forest and Climate Change and Water Resources Advisor Syeda Rizwana Hassan today called for shifting consumer habits towards eco-friendly jute products. She said Bangladesh must reduce its dependence on polythene bags. She made the remarks while inaugurating an exhibition titled The Soul of Jute at La Galleria of the Alias Process de Dhaka. The exhibition was jointly organized by the Alias Process de Dhaka, travel magazine Bhromon and the Jute Diversification Promotion Center PLC under the Ministry of Textiles and Jute. So the Rizwana Hassan said years of policy neglect discouraged farmers from cultivating jute. She warned that jute-based industries cannot grow without protecting farmers' interests. She said that Bangladeshi jute bags are used abroad while polythene use remains widespread at home. The advisor urged a national stance against polythene use. She said recycling alone cannot solve the problem. She added that the Environment Ministry and the Ministry of Textiles and Jute are working together to increase production and supply of jute bags. She also said that simple consumer behavior changes can reduce plastic pollution. So the Rizwana Hassan said mandatory jute packaging laws were not implemented properly in the past, but enforcement has now begun. She hoped the exhibition will encourage sustainable consumption and build confidence in local jute goods. Lack of party cooperation may put election in question, says Chief Election Commissioner. Chief Election Commissioner AMM Nasiruddin today warned that a lack of cooperation from political parties could cast doubt on the upcoming national election, despite the Election Commission's preparations to ensure fairness. Speaking at a dialogue with registered political parties at the Election Commission in Agargaon, Dhaka, he said past experience shows that a fair election is not possible without the full cooperation of political parties. If parties refuse to cooperate or create obstacles, the credibility of the election may be questioned. The Chief Election Commissioner called for collective effort, noting that national leaders share equal responsibility for safeguarding the country's future. Reiterating the Commission's commitment to a transparent and impartial election, Nasiruddin said preparations are progressing despite various limitations. Our actions reflect our commitment. Whatever challenges arise, we will take every step necessary to ensure a fair election, he said. He urged parties to strictly follow the Electoral Code of Conduct before, during, and after polling day, saying compliance would help maintain order and ease the Commission's work. Emphasizing shared responsibility, he said a dignified and credible election is essential for electing capable leaders and ensuring a better future. In reversal, Trump supports House vote to release Epstein files. US President Donald Trump on Sunday said he supports effort in the House of Representatives to release more files on sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. He posted on his Truth Social platform that House Republicans should vote to release the files, saying we have nothing to hide. The comments come after emails from Epstein's estate were made public last week. Some of those emails suggested Trump knew about the girls, which he denies. Critics have accused him of trying to block the vote to avoid scrutiny. The issue has created division inside the Republican Party. Over the weekend, President Trump withdrew his endorsement for Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene's 2026 re-election bid. Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson has said he will hold a vote this week on a measure directing the Justice Department to release the remaining Epstein files. In his post, President Trump warned that some Republican lawmakers were being used by Democrats who want the files disclosed. The email release followed the end of the longest United States government shutdown. Democrats on the House Oversight Committee said the messages raised serious questions about Trump's knowledge of Epstein's crimes. After the emails emerged, President Trump called on Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Federal Bureau of Investigation to investigate links between Epstein's and former President Bill Clinton, as well as former Harvard President Larry Summers. This demand came despite a July memo from the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Justice Department saying they found no evidence to justify investigating uncharged third parties. Jeffrey Epstein, assisted by Ghislaine Maxwell, recruited underage girls and abused them at his homes in New York and Florida. He died in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial in a trafficking case. He had previously registered as a sex offender after 2008 conviction. The Justice Department has said Epstein did not keep a client list, a claim rejected by many of President Trump's supporters. That's all for now. For more updates, visit bssnews.net. Thanks for watching.